Welcome back to On the Clock on the Rocket Productions Network. I'm your host, Dawson McNall. My good friend Jace and Scotty will join me shortly. If you've missed any episodes of On the Clock, go find the Rocket Productions Network on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, or anywhere you listen to your podcast. All of our episodes are also available on the Rocket Productions YouTube channel. If you're not a subscriber, go hit that subscribe button right now. Be sure to check out Rocket Productions on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So we are here. Today is January 26th, the 4-year memorial of Kobe Bryant's passing, along with his daughter Gigi, who was in our class and would be graduating right about this time. So, ironically, all three of us were in the same spot when we found this out. One of you guys want to kind of tell the story?
Yeah, sitting there, got at a basketball practice. We're all going hard, for Kobe, trying to be like him. And then the two coaches walk in after the end of practice and broke the news. And we had a big Kobe enthusiast with us at the time.
Like, huge. Dude lived, slept, breathed, like...
His whole room was Kobe. And I think when that news broke about the helicopter incident...
I think a part of him died with him.
Yeah, and never been the same since.
You can talk about a little bit about our memorial. Do we remember? I don't really remember what was on the memorial.
Yeah, no. We had a little memorial going after practice.
It was in our locker room, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in our locker room. A little short practice. We kind of got done with our normal things, doing a couple of drills, but practice got short because of the whole incident. So we went to our locker room, had a little memorial, wrote on the whiteboard, whole bunch of signatures that only we were going to see because no one else went in that locker room.
Because it was the 8th grade boys' locker room.
Yeah, basketball, so no one else went in there other than boys' basketball. And then I remember our first game back, Jace thought it was going to be cool to write for Kobe on his – he wrote for Kobe on his basketball shoes, which was interesting because he didn't really, talk about Kobe. He didn't really do anything, but he just wrote for Kobe. And
respect.
I mean, yeah, really respectable. I mean – love the dude for that, but I was thinking Jude was gonna do something about that, but no.
Jude had plans to marry Gigi.
Yeah. He had planned it all down.
All right, we're gonna leave that at that. But R.I.P. Kobe. We're gonna transition over to the NFL. So last week we had our 4 divisional round matchups: Chiefs at Bills, Ravens versus Texans, 49ers versus Packers, and Bucks at Lions. So Chiefs came out on top of our first game.
Some light.
Mahomes played, I would say, very well. I would say the receivers had probably one of their top 2 or 3 games as a whole. Mahomes had 215 yards and 2 touchdowns. Pacheco, beast, 97 yards and 1 touchdown. I think he also had some receiving yards. Never mind. No, he didn't.
Yeah,
no, he had 14 yards. Yeah, he had 1 big reception. Clyde also. Can we talk about that?
Consistent.
He got in there for a little bit.
Consistent relief back. In no world was he worth a first-round pick, but he got in there and he was turning butter.
He proven himself.
He played, I would say, for a backup running back, he played very well. Averaged 15.5 yards a carry. And then we move over and look at the Bills. Just not a lot to like here offensively. Only 186 passing yards at a Josh Allen and a touchdown. He did, however, contribute 72 on the ground. Our defense kind of looks like, what's that, Swift cheese?
A lot of holes in it.
Yeah, with the holes in it, which is ironic because we have Taylor Swift cheese, or Swiss, whatever, you know what I mean. And then we got James Cook, who had another 61 on the ground. Dalton Kincaid, rookie tight end, was their leading receiver with 45. Khalid Shakir, 7 receptions for 44 yards right behind him. Diggs only had 21. And what's his name? Davis didn't even play.
Yeah, he's still hurt with a knee injury.
So, yeah, a few questionable calls on offense down at the 3-yard line.
Sure,
and
yeah.
we run some wildcat reverse.
Some when we have
corner dive
Hardman.
with,
when we have
Pacheco.
Give it to the dog.
Yeah.
He was averaging 8 yards a carry,
Yeah.
and we were at the 3-yard line.
So some questionable play calls down the stretch, but I think overall pretty good game. I think we got to clean some things up a lot on defense if we're going to be able to stop this Ravens team next week, which is what we'll get into right now. So the Ravens hosted the Texans up in Baltimore. I have a feeling it was probably cold, but not as cold as it was here.
A little rainy.
So C.J. Stroud rookie quarterback, rookie head coach, second playoff game. Only 175 passing yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Devin Singletary, only 22 yards of rushing on the ground. CJ Stroud threw in 9, and Dare Agubare threw in 7. Damian Pierce, Scotty's franchise running back last year, not even a touch.
Got him off the team. I traded him. You know.
So that's that. They couldn't get a lot going offensively against a very, very good Ravens defense.
I mean, they were in it at halftime. I think it was
10-10.
10-10 at halftime. But it still looked like the Ravens were running the game. They just couldn't get the ball down in the end zone. But they did second half.
And then you take a look at it, and the Texans had more passing yards. The Texans had 175. There was only 152 out of the Ravens, but Lamar threw 2 touchdowns. Lamar also contributed 100 on the ground. Justice Hill threw in 66. Gus Edwards threw in 40. And Dalvin Cook threw in 23. Zay Flowers, 4 catches for 41 yards. Rashad Bateman, 3 for 39. And Isaiah Likely, 2 for 34. Beery, how do you feel about how our defense matches up to their run game coming in next week?
Well, was it Willie Gay? Is he the one that was hurt?
Yeah.
If he doesn't come back, because I could see him being a spy.
Yeah, it's normally. I think he's normally.
Which kind of didn't help us with the Bills, because Josh Allen got so much running room and we didn't have really one to spy because he was hurt. So if he comes back, which I think I saw something that he is coming back.
I haven't checked.
I think I saw something saying that he will be cleared to play against the Ravens, and so him being there on the defense will be big. Him being able to spy on Lamar, keep him inside the pocket, force him to throw the ball, which this year he hasn't been bad throwing the ball. He's in the MVP race, obviously.
He's probably the favorite at this point.
And so just making him throw the ball instead of running it with his legs, which he's really good at, will be tough. But
yeah, so the keys I got for the game: Chiefs, we have to stop the run. That's our number one priority. And then Ravens force turnovers. They mentioned some stat last night where in this playoffs, if the team that's forced more turnovers has won every game.
Yeah.
So I think that's an emphasis for both, but for the Ravens for sure. And then if we move over to the NFC, 49ers took down the Packers in a very, very close game. The Packers, I think, much like the Texans, are much further along than everybody thought they'd be in this rebuilding process. And I saw somebody saying that there's not really a roster in the NFC that you would take over the Packers long term.
It's just so young.
It's so young. And to get to the divisional round and lose by 3 to the 1 seed,
as a 7 seed.
Because them and the Texans. And I would say the Lions besides quarterback.
Yeah.
They're young.
I think Goff is close to 30.
He's 29.
Okay, so yeah, close to 30. But the NFC, everybody in the playoffs is young this year. I think the oldest quarterback in the playoffs was obviously Joe Flacco, but after him, I think it might have been Mahomes or Goff. Mm-hmm. So that's wild to think about because a couple of years ago, it just feels like Mahomes was the new guy on the block. But we'll get into some Bucs-Lions stats. Detroit came out on top, 31-23. Baker Mayfield had 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, and 350 yards. Goff had 287 with 2 touchdowns. Gibbs threw in 74 on the ground compared to White's 55. Mike Evans had him a day. 147 yards and a touchdown. Amon-Ra had 77 and 1. So I think I like the Bucs a lot as a team, but they're just old and a lot of cap hits.
Yeah, because they got to move on from both of those receivers eventually. I think they hold on to Mike Evans for a couple more years, but
Godwin I think is 2 years younger. I think Godwin's only 28.
But I feel like Godwin just doesn't produce like.
Yeah,
they're both always hurt. I swear. I feel
one of them's always out. Yeah.
But I think aren't they both free agents this year?
I think it's Evans this year, Godwin next year, but I may be wrong.
Okay, I don't know. I'm not for sure.
But yeah, I think that team's going to need a little bit of retooling on offense. Defensively, I think they're pretty sound. I'd say I don't think they have to rebuild. I think they have to retool just a little bit, draft a receiver maybe because this class is stacked. And last question for the Bucs here. If you're the Bucs GM, do you bring back Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, I think you bring him back, and then you have him fight out for the starting spot. And if he doesn't get it, you can either keep him or cut him.
Beer?
Yeah, did probably the same thing. I mean, he kind of proven himself to make it to the round, and so, I mean, the 2 picks, one of them wasn't really his fault. Hit Mike Evans' hands, kind of went up in the air, and the defender caught it. But, I mean, I'd say he's kind of proven himself to be a starter, but, yeah, he'd probably have to fight for a spot if they end up drafting one or signing one.
I saw one thing where Belichick, what was year? Was Baker 2018? I think whenever Baker was a rookie, he was still at New England and he had Tom Brady, but he really liked Baker as a prospect. So I guess like the week of the draft, he flew out and held a private workout with Baker, with the greatest quarterback of all time on this team. So I saw something saying Baker might hold out on a contract with the Bucs to go wherever Belichick goes. But it's looking right now Belichick might not have a job in 2024, which is very weird to say.
Because they were saying something about both of the teams left. What is it, Seahawks and someone else?
Falcons are technically left, but I think they had.
Did
they officially sign him?
Yeah.
Well, it might just.
I think it's 2 teams, but I guess Belichick hasn't talked to either of the teams yet. So.
And he might be waiting on another job to open, like if Andy Reid were to retire, or
it might be. No, it's not Cowboys. Sorry.
Cowboys. Yeah, Cowboys crap.
They
Okay,
signed him.
moving over to the awards real quick. We're kind of going long today. MVP race: Lamar, Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, Josh Allen, and Christian McCaffrey. I think is Lamar the clear favorite, right?
He's the favorite right now, I think.
Okay. I think in my head it goes Lamar, Christian McCaffrey, big drop off, Brock, Dak, Allen. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd either have Lamar or CMC up there. I don't know. I feel like the MVP's always been a quarterback award.
Yeah, at least since we've been around.
So I'd rather just honestly make a whole new award. I don't know. I feel like it's weird.
They have the Offensive Player of the Year,
but it's also still somewhat a quarterback. Other than a couple years, like this year could probably be Puka if he rookie.
That's Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
No, it's just there is an Offensive Player of the Year, but in my head that doesn't make sense because if you're the MVP, you're also the Offensive Player of the Year. So it's kind of like a second place trophy.
I wish there was almost like a position player award,
like a non-quarterback MVP.
Yeah,
like you could have a best quarterback award, and then positional award.
Because it's like they're gonna give MVP to a quarterback no matter what, but CMC had one of the best running back seasons
if you take
people have seen. In
my head, most valuable player. If you take them off that team, do they still succeed? You take Lamar off the Ravens, they're not the 1 seed.
No.
You take Christian McCaffrey off the 49ers, not the 1 seed. You take Dak Prescott off the Cowboys, I still think they lose in the first round. You take Josh Allen, I don't think they make it to the divisional.
Yeah.
I don't even think they make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, so that's how I think about the MVP. So in my head, it's Christian McCaffrey, and then Lamar. But the voters will obviously decide something else. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Lions get 2 players in, Laporta, Gibbs, and then Bijan from the Falcons, CJ from the Texans, and Puka from the Rams. I think this is really a 2-man race. CJ Stroud and Puka Nacua, 2 great rookie campaigns. Puka broke the rookie receiving record, and CJ Stroud led a horrible Texans team to the divisional round. Who would you guys give the edge to?
I'm thinking Puka, just because he broke 2 of those records. He broke receptions and receiving yards. So, I don't know. I think if they look at it from counting the playoffs, they'll put CJ in. But if they don't count playoffs and it's just based off of regular season production, I think Puka gets
an
it.
individual performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Rookie of the Year is kind of more of an individual performance award, at least in my head, because they're 21 years old, maybe 22. So that's that for me. We are going to send it to commercial real quick, and then we're going to be back with a little bit of NBA news and some wavelength trivia game.
Okay. Are you a high school football fan and wanting to support your local football team? The Rose Hill High School Gridiron gives endless opportunities to help out the football team. If you're interested in signing up, contact Heath Walsh and make a difference. Go Rockets!
All right. Welcome back to On the Clock. We're here with some NBA news. So what night was it? Was it Tuesday?
So
It was like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday or Wednesday, Joel dropped 70 points on Victor Wembanyama's head.
Yeah.
And then it was. Did you guys watch the highlights? Did you watch the game?
I watched towards the end.
It was nuts. He was just dominating Victor Wembanyama.
Mm-hmm.
Victor couldn't do anything.
Well, then you had that video of Pop come out like, oh, we're gonna shut them down tonight, and then he drops
comes out with
70.
70.
on
Like
them.
that's a crazy.
He said they were gonna hold him
response.
under 50, and he scored 70.
And Victor even had like 33 too, so like it was like a weird game. I
Yeah.
feel like there was a lot of scoring from centers, but
The centers are kind of taking over. Karl Anthony Towns on that same night, 62-point performance that got overshadowed by Joel's. He had 44 in the first half, 22 in the first quarter, 22 in the second quarter. I think individually, Joel's is still better, but Cat had some more threes, which, I mean, that's more of his play style, but I think that's still pretty impressive. But the Bucks, or not the Bucks, the Timberwolves lost.
I saw that.
He pretty much cost him the game because he was, trying to get his stats up. And so his coach and GM, I think they both called him out for it after the game in front of the media. So that was kind of a weird situation because normally when you have a dude drop 62 points, you're happy for him. But and then moving over to our last bit, the Bucks midweek fired Adrian Griffin with a record of 30-13 to hire Doc Rivers. Arguably, he's a very good regular season coach, but he can't win in the playoffs. It's been proven.
Yeah.
And a team that got eliminated by a 7 seed last year, the Heat, I don't love that hire.
It's just kind of like
A
I feel
lateral
like it was
move.
almost like the first guy they see on the market, like
Yeah.
for a head.
Like when you're playing 2K and you start losing games, so you fire your head coach and you go hire the first guy on the market with the highest ratings.
Because
And
Doc Rivers is
cheapest.
just always there. He's kind of like a journeyman, but as a coach.
Yeah, right. He's the
He's been
Ryan
so many
Fitzpatrick of the NBA. So we're gonna debut a new game here. It's called Wavelength. I don't know if you guys probably played it before,
TikTok.
but we'll do an example here. So I'm going to give them 4 or 5 categories, or like 4 or 5 different objects, and they have to work together to figure out like what number or rating I'm thinking of. So we'll start out easy here. So we got first up Cincinnati Bengals. They're all white uniforms, like white helmet, white jersey. So then you guys would say your number. You two work together on this one.
okay, so there's like multiple ways there. Is the higher number the better?
Yeah, like-
Okay.
Yeah,
8
like
or
10
9.
is like we're doing from 1 to 10.
Okay.
Those are like 8 or 9.
I was gonna go like 9.
All right, we got sitting at a 9.
I wouldn't say they're 10 because the Eagles probably have the best.
All right, and then we're gonna go to a sports movie here. Coach Carter.
It's a good one. It's about a 9.
Yeah, I'd also say about 8, 9.
All right, and then as far as running backs go, we're gonna go Christian McCaffrey.
Snow, I want to say 10.
Yeah, the best running back in the.
All right, and then NBA Finals, 2016 NBA Finals.
Man, I know you love him.
I love that series.
So I'd say 10.
And then Luka Doncic as an NBA player.
You also love him, so I'm gonna go like 9 or 10.
Yeah, I that was just an example. I was going to go 9 or 10, either of that. So we'll move on to our first round here. I think you guys will get 2 or 3. The first one, it's a little bit tricky. So we have the Raiders home uniforms. I'm going to pull this up on the computer so I can see. Just the classic gray helmet, striped down the middle, Raiders logo, plain black uni with gray pants.
4.
I was about to say it's kind of mid, so I'm being like
4.
I was gonna 4 or 5.
Okay.
So
All right, moving on to a NFL running back here. Brian Robinson of the Washington Commanders.
I'm still thinking like 4. 3 or 4.
I'm gonna go 5.
5. What do you 4 or 5? Okay. And then linebacker C.J. Mosley plays for the Jets.
I don't even know.
These are about as mid can get.
Yeah,
Still 4.
All right, and then think NBA shooting guards here. We got Grayson Allen.
hate the dude. Went to Duke.
Let's
Let's-
give different answers. What are you going?
Grayson Allen. I feel like the grit just puts him at like
High
5.
motor.
Yeah, just 5.
You're doing 5.
I'm gonna
I'd-
go 4.
See, I went 5. What brings that up for me is I think
I just don't see Grayson Allen as a 5.
Yeah, I don't.
I think what I was trying to do is I figured it might be a little bit higher. I don't know why, because none of these guys are great. But I do like the Raiders home uniforms. I think they're clean, simple, classic. So that's what brought that up a little bit for me. Moving over to our next one, the Miami Heat mashup jerseys, the black ones. Oh, no, hang on. It didn't work.
With like the boxed out lettering, or what are you talking about?
Miami Heat mismatch jersey. The black ones, not the white ones. These.
I kind of like that. Kind of gives
6.
a Miami vibe. I'm gonna go 7.
7. All right. Next up, we got Quentin Nelson, left guard for the Indianapolis Colts.
7.
7. All right.
I'm gonna keep it with 7.
I figured we might be a little low here. So we got the 1984 NBA draft class. That's Jordan's class. So it's Jordan, Barkley, Elijah Stockton.
8.
8. We're gonna go 8 on
I'm moving that up.
Okay.
I'll go
Okay.
9.
All right. And then lastly, we got Scottie Pippen.
As a role player?
Yeah, I was about to say.
I mean, he's a great player.
I'm gonna
but
stick my
he's got Jordan.
total to 8.
8 and 9. All right. I don't even remember what I put here. We got a 9.
Good work.
Again, I love those Miami jerseys. All right. Last one.
What do you have the Miami jerseys at?
I have those jerseys at like an 8. I have those jerseys an 8. Quentin Nelson at like a 10 because he's probably one of the best guards in the league. You serious? And then we got the best draft class of all time, and then Pippen to bring it back down. All right, so we got the Supersonics Classic away jerseys. I didn't have time to put a link in here, so let me pull it up.
I think I know what these are.
So for those of you that can't see, it's the red one, like the one with a little bit of red on it. So it's pretty much a plain green jersey with red around the neck and shoulders, and then the round Supersonics logo with the number on it.
I'm gonna go 8. I kind of
8?
like Supersonics jerseys.
I love Supersonics. And then we go Jared Goff.
You're a Lions
stick
guy,
it.
so
This is just in general. This
Oh.
one's not
I'll go
biased.
7.
I'll stick at 6.
All right, and then we got like as fan bases, Raiders fans.
I hate them.
They're pretty good, though.
Like not your personal opinion, like in the grand scheme of the NFL, like
7.
7.
I'm gonna go 6.
Okay, and then tried to throw a curveball here. We're doing like a sports video game. We got MLB The Show.
I might go back down to 6. I'm not a big fan of the show.
Yeah, I mean it's actually kind of a hard game to play, so I'm gonna go 6.
Yeah, that's what I was at. I was at a 6 with this one. I only played the show for maybe a month.
It's not bad. It's
I'm just not a baseball guy.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm going to play a sports video game, it's got to be, like, action-packed.
Yeah.
Like, I need people getting in fights or
2K surfing.
Odell. What?
2K surfing. You're a surfer, right?
Oh, that'd
can-
be
you
hype.
can do
That would
2K
low-key be
surfing.
hype. I was so confused for a second. I thought you were talking about something. I don't know. Yeah, that would be hype. All right. I think that's all for the three of us today. You guys got any closing comments?
Go Sharks.
Go Sharks. We didn't even talk about K-State, KU basketball. We're going to pull up the schedule real quick. K-State this weekend has Houston at Houston, so we're not going to even mention that.
L.
And then next Tuesday we got Oklahoma at home,
L.
probably. KU goes to Hilton Arena to play Iowa State, and then you guys host Oklahoma State next Tuesday. And then WSU basketball.
Oh, we're awful.
You guys got SMU
The
At home.
Same time that Chiefs play. No one
on
will
Sunday. Yeah, and that is going to be
No.
a dead
Be
arena.
there. No one will be there.
And then you guys got Tulsa 6 o'clock next Wednesday.
Ooh, tough schedule.
Hey, we 0-6 in conference
Are you
play.
Are you-
serious?
Yeah.
That's horrible.
We're 0-6.
Yeah, you guys are awful.
Yeah.
thought you guys wanted to
You
own
guys
that
might be-
conference.
Yeah,
I thought this was your.
I thought so too until Charlotte decided to come out of nowhere and go 6-1.
We got a two-way tie for Florida Atlantic and Charlotte at 1. South Florida and North Texas at 5.
North Texas is pretty solid. They
You're
won
letting Temple
North
and
Texas
Rice.
won the NIT last year.
Yeah, no, I
Tough,
understood
tough.
North
They're pretty
Tem-
solid. They're
North
pretty solid.
Texas.
And then Memphis and SMU.
Memphis is solid.
UAB right with them.
Okay, I don't even know.
Tulane,
Temple's solid.
Tulane and East Carolina next.
Hey, Temple run a tough zone. They run a tough.
The fact that you know
like
that-
what we did in
They
like,
run a tough zone. Well,
What
they're
we did
known
in
for
5th
that.
grade.
yeah.
Temple's known for their zone.
What do they run?
Oh,
2-3,
it's like
3-2.
I think it's 2-3.
All right, and then we got Tulsa, Rice, and Temple with 1 win apiece, and
Pretty sure
then
we lost to
Wichita
Tulsa.
State on an 8-game losing streak
Let's
after
go.
an 8-3 start.
Yeah, we started off tough.
All right, I think that's all we
What
got.
did you guys
We're gonna
start out
send
with?
we're gonna send this over to KJ. 8-3. Now they're 8-11.
It happens.
All right, send this over to
The
KJ.
next Detroit Pistons. Wichita State Shockers.
All right. Today we're gonna be talking about the AFC and NFC championship. So, there's the Chiefs and the Ravens.
Yeah, low-key. I want the Chiefs to win, but I feel like,
Why?
bro,
They've been in
bro,
the Super Bowl like.
who cares, bro? It's the Chiefs. But low-key, I think the Ravens will win.
Yeah, hopefully. I feel like they have a better team, anyways. Also, at least right now.
Yeah. I mean, if Taylor Swift comes in clutch, we'll win.
And then there's the Lions and the 49ers.
I don't know about this. Because,
I thought the Bucks were going to beat the Lions when they
yeah,
played, so I don't know.
I also thought the Packers were going to beat the Niners. Because, like, low-key, Brock Purdy was having a trash game.
Yeah, it was close.
And, like, I think it was raining, and he couldn't even throw the ball, so he put, like, a glove on, and then he still couldn't throw, so he just took it off. I was like, all right. And then I want to say the Niners because, like, Christian McCaffrey, they got so many people. They got more than the Lions.
And their defense is really good.
And their defense is good. But, like, the defense, like, they were good against the Packers, but, like, they didn't play their best either.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, towards the end of the game, they got an interception. But, like, they're going to rely on their offense. And the Lions,
I don't really know what they have. I don't know how they got this far.
The brown guy. I don't know how to say his whole name, but he's pretty good. And they got. I mean, I wouldn't call Jared Goff a good quarterback, but
He's not terrible.
he's an okay quarterback.
Are you talking about the wide receiver? Did you not?
The St. Brown guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then they got their coach is pretty good. They got Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, I don't really know a lot about their defense, but
They're obviously good enough to go to the championship.
yeah, but okay, the only one that scares me is the Ravens versus
Yeah.
Chiefs. I don't really care about the NFC, but it's just a Chiefs game.
Yeah.
Like, if Lamar Jackson goes over 200.
It could be either team who wins that one. I don't really know.
Travis Kelce better come in clutch. I'm burning my jersey.
So then it would be like the Ravens and 49ers Super Bowl.
Yeah. But then I feel like if it happens to be the Chiefs or the Niners, then it's just going to be like last time.
Yeah.
But Chiefs are probably going to lose this one.
Yeah. I'd say, I don't know who would win if it was the Ravens and 49ers. That would be.
Yeah, that would be a good game because the Ravens did win the first time, but I think it was a touchdown or two. They won the first time. I know that because I was watching it. But yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs, and then I'm gonna take the Niners.
I'd say the Ravens just because.
Yeah.
And then, I would just pick them to win Super Bowl too.
Chiefs Super Bowl. If the Chiefs don't win the Super Bowl, nobody's seeing me for a whole week.
Really?
Stay home.
All right.